Yeah. So where does your story start? Does it start in Italy? Does it start further back?
I feel like it starts in Italy officially, but it was taken a little before. I mean, right after high school, I went into the Air Force. I was an air traffic controller for about a year and a half, and through government cutbacks, I was able to leave honorably on an honorable discharge after a year and a half because they were cutting back a lot of people from the Air Force. And when I came out of the Air Force, I tried to go civilian. I took the test a couple times, but it's a 1 in a million shot to become an air traffic controller, especially in New York. And that test is no joke. There's no studying for the test, and it is just it's a mind crack. I mean, it's pretty intense. So I took it 3 times. I went through the process, but obviously my life moved on from point to point. There's like a year in between those tests. So that's when my mom started suggesting stuff, and then she sent me culinary school at the International Culinary Center in downtown Manhattan to take the Italian culinary program, which was half in New York City and half in Italy. So, I ended up going with that. I was 10 weeks in the city, so I became a commuter. That was the first time I was commuting, which I learned about commuter life, and truthfully, I thought it was amazing that every single morning, people take the same exact train, sit in the same exact seat, see the same exact people, park in the same exact parking spot. Like, it was kind of wild. I used to walk for 7 minutes from the subway to my school and past 4 Starbucks, which I thought was insane, but I would still stop at the coffee cart because it's always better. So 10 weeks in the city, it was intensive Italian cuisine, intro to sommelier tasting, and intensive Italian language. Because then when we go to Italy, we're in school for 10 weeks there. Part of the courses are in Italian, and then we go do an internship by ourselves. So you kind of need to know Italian enough to get yourself by. So that experience was absolutely wild. It was in Colorno, which was a little town outside of Parma. Our school was in Napoleon's castle. It was literally a 2-story castle. And we learned different regions types of cuisines. So every week we had a chef from a different region of Italy that would come and demo for us the entire day. We'd all hang out in the classroom, and they would cook for us. There was cameras all over, mirrors, and they would feed us. So that's what we got to learn, real traditional regional cuisine. That's everything that we did in the school was extremely secretive. We couldn't even bring our own food home, which is wild because we basically lived in a dormitory.
Why was that?
To our understanding, they just really needed to keep everything within the school. There was no recipe book. We had to really we had one girl who was with us. She was next NYPD cop, and she was the mom of the group, and she was we need printouts. We're coming to school with printouts. So there was always a couple people who made sure that we had something to have with us. We paid a lot of money to go to school. You're not even letting us bring dinner home. So that would force us to go into this real local culture. The bars that were outside the school, the trattorias, the pizzerias, the bakeries. That's as real as it gets.
Just go around with a notebook and
pretty much
learn and take notes.
We would leave school at 4 or 5 o'clock. Sometimes they would put our sommelier class at the end of the day, so it was pregame 101. It's not our fault though, because they didn't put us in the proper wine room, so we didn't have the sinks to spit in. So what are you gonna do? But yeah, we would leave school and you'd sit at these bars and you order a drink, and in Italy, aperitivo time is pretty much time where these restaurants, they have to feed you. So you buy a drink and the food is free. And it's the most cost-effective way and really the most tasty way to eat between 5 and 7 p.m. You order wine, they will just start bringing over food, whether it's focaccia or pasta, or some places have, in Milan, a lot of these bars will just open up a full buffet, for 2 hours, and it's a full spread. Last time I traveled solo, I was really balling on a budget. And there was $15 Heineken, but it included the buffet. And I'm yes, absolutely. Because Heineken is very prominent in Italy, oddly enough. They have a lot of their own bars. But, you're going to get the coldest, freshest Heineken that you're going to get within Europe other than being in Germany. Ireland? Germany?
Amsterdam?
Pff, sorry.
I think it's Amsterdam. Because I went there. I went to the Heineken factory.
I'm a Peroni guy. Sorry. So...
people in Italy, they don't eat dinner till 9 o'clock.
Yeah, exactly.
You go out to a restaurant at 7 o'clock and you're the only one there.
Yeah, pretty much, because everyone just started eating at 5 o'clock. I was the first one at this buffet because I was taking a train. I was going to the Formula One race in Monza. So I stopped at this buffet before I got on the train, because like a 2-hour journey, and I was really the first one there. But then people started piling in real fast, and yeah, you think about it, like that's literally appetizer time for them. You know, they still have the entire night ahead of them.
Yeah.
And I was just using it for like, you know, a really good cold beer and unlimited buffet. I'm like, no problem. So, you know,
I have a really funny story. This past year, we went to, in August, we went to a friend's wedding in Florence, and we brought our 6-month-old with us. So we took the trip over there. We went to the wedding, and we were like, all right, we'll turn it into a little family vacation. You know, the wedding stuff was only 2 days.
Right.
It was like the welcome dinner and then the actual wedding event. And so we went up to Lake Garda.
Okay.
We went to this, it was a really nice place, right on the water. It was really fun. Good, like family friendly place. So it was good with the 6-month-old at the time. And the last night we go to this restaurant, and it's about 6:30, 7 o'clock when we get there. So we're the only ones there. We're like, this is perfect. We'll get in, we have the kid, we'll put her to sleep around like 8 o'clock. It'll still be good. And she wasn't really like eating solid food too much. She was eating like little bits of things. And so we went on a wine tour earlier in the day, and I gave her some cheese, but I was like mushing it up in my fingers so that she could have some cheese, and she really liked it. And then Holly saw me doing that, and she gave her a little piece of cheese at dinner while she's strapped in with her, and she choked on it and projectile vomited.
Oh my God.
All over Holly.
Oh.
All over the floor in this
God,
restaurant.
they're deporting you.
It was outside, luckily. And luckily, like, there was nobody else in this restaurant. So Holly gets up. She runs back to the hotel. I've got a baby that's covered that I'm, like, changing out in the open. And it was disgusting. And it took, like, 30 minutes for her to get to the hotel, change, and then come back.
Jesus.
So by the time she came back, all the food was on the table. I'd cleaned up Harper, and I had gone inside, got, like, pitchers full of water, and I was just, like, cleaning and hosing it down. And then, like, 30 minutes later, whole restaurant was packed, and nobody knew. But we knew.
Crazy.
It was disgusting.